Hello, everybody. My name is Cory, and you're listening to The Story with Cory. Today, we have on a super awesome returning guest, Mr. Matt Tarka. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Cory. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you again, yes. It's been a very long time.
It has.
At least for the podcast.
We'll call it 17 days.
Yeah, 17 days since we last saw each other.
Yeah.
But about a year or so.
Yeah, it's very accurate and precise,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
Well, Matt Tarka is a singer-songwriter based in Lancaster, PA. After picking up a bass guitar when he was 15, he has since aimed to share his personal and fictional stories with a guitar and voice. Listeners to his music will sense his propensity for alt-Americana music, his incipient love for bands like REM and Dinosaur Jr., his voice, which has the same signature stamp of star vocalists like Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cuties and James Mercer from The Shins. Themes that show up in his music are embracing your mistakes, questioning reality and holding people accountable, being open to change and people who offer a new perspective, and how the mundane can be beautiful if you look at it just right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. It's unseasonably warm. It's 84 degrees, so I feel like I've dressed accordingly. I'm ready to sweat. But I'm also just kind of like ready to,
You're ready to golf.
Ready to golf. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you have a propensity for those hats?
I do. I do like a good Gorin Brothers hat. I don't know if you can kind of see this, but I purchased this, a couple of years ago, I think, when I was doing a recording session in Savannah, Georgia. There used to be a Gorin Brothers hat shop right in downtown Savannah in the historic section on Broughton Street. So I ended up picking up this hat, and I think I actually wore it in a music video not too long ago.
That's awesome.
By not too long ago, I mean just before the pandemic began.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
so some people
so I guess I'm officially out of the house, and it's sort of a semi-newish hat.
That's awesome. Well, how have you been since the last time you've been on the show? You've done several things since then.
Yeah, I've been good. Back in March, I released a single called Beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
As a 7-inch and with a B-side called Back of an Envelope. And I've just been kind of playing shows sporadically here around South Central Pennsylvania. And I have something new coming out tomorrow. It's another 7-inch called Salem.
Well, let's talk about your new stuff.
Okay.
So you have been writing music since 15, or playing music at least.
Yeah.
When do you think you've been writing music since?
That's a good question. I think I've been writing lyrics, probably since I was about, 15, 16 years old. But I think I really started taking my lyrics, seriously. And by seriously, I mean seriously considering them for, songs and kind of putting them into a structure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I'd say probably 18, 19 years old. I had a project. It's kind of a duo project with a friend of mine named Jeff Compson. I think we were loosely calling ourselves the Chairs at the time. So this is going back a little bit, a little ways here and there. And then, the project with the Chairs just kind of morphed into something different a couple of years, after that when I was in college. I had a project called Smith's Grove with my friends Anthony Musamichi and Rich Mikulich, and we were in a barefoot acoustic trio.
Rich Mikulich.
Yeah.
That is a cool name.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
He has a great project right now that you should check out and your listeners should check out called Broken Skyline.
Broken Skyline.
Yeah.
Rich still in the area?
Rich is in Portland,
that's
Oregon. Yeah, but SoundCloud travels every direction.
That's true. Yes, you're right.
So, yeah, Broken Skyline's a really cool project, and I know he's cutting an EP right now.
Awesome.
He's finishing something up soon.
So where do you think you've grown since your 15, 16 years to now, way in the future?
Well, I can play more instruments than I could, than when I was 15 or 16. I was primarily focused on bass guitar. And then, when I eventually started this, sort of a side project that eventually became kind of a full-blown solo project, I realized I needed more strings to make that happen and fill things out. So, as much as I like working with 4 strings, 6 can be a whole lot cooler, and you can, work with more tonalities, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I am. I not only play bass guitar, but I play acoustic. I dabble in omnichord these days as well. I found myself playing, not too shabby of an omnichord on this latest recording.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you record all these yourselves? You play every instrument that in your own?
Not usually, no.
Okay.
No, typically I play guitar. In this case, I was playing some omnichord. But this go around with Salem, I was working with a friend of mine down in Northern Virginia. His name's Jarrett Nicolay, and he has a studio in his garage called Mixtape Studios. And we really took a very similar approach to what Jeff Lynne likes to do. If you're familiar with Jeff Lynne.
Not quite.
He was a member of Electric Light Orchestra, starting back in like late 60s, early 70s to today. And they just kind of, Jeff Lynne kind of put a cap on the career of ELO, not very long ago. But the way that he typically works with, artists or, sometimes, as a singular artist in the studio is just getting every single, say, piece of a drum kit precise in his recording. So just focusing on the hi-hat, focusing on, your kick, snare, whatever the situation is, just getting the right take of each individual instrument and then
Splicing it together.
And then, yeah, that's it. Splicing them together.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we kind of took that approach together just sort of as a recording duo, I suppose. So Jarrett's, it's been great working with Jarrett the past couple of years. And, we cut a single over the summer. It's coming out tomorrow, and I wound up playing drums, wound up playing certainly acoustic guitar. Jarrett played bass, omnichord, and you might, if you are really listening closely, you might hear a little bit of cowbell as well.
Can always use more cowbell.
Right?
Explain to an omnichord. Yeah. Explain what an omnichord is for those who don't know.
So an omnichord, the type that we used, it's more of a, how do I describe this? It's kind of like a battery-operated analog type of instrument. It kind of serves as, in a way that, one might play an accordion or a piano. Mm-hmm. And then there's kind of, it's almost like this air, pocket that sort of serves as a speaker. And what you do is you kind of rub your fingers over that, air pocket or vent or something like that. And that creates different kinds of sonic textures within the constructs of the instrument. So you're not only pressing different buttons, that correspond to different notes on a piano keyboard, but the kind of friction that you're creating off the omnichord gives it like a really interesting sort of presence on record. It's very cool. You can kind of distort it, in little bits and bobs. Yeah.
So what's Salem about?
What's it about?
Surely not any witch trials.
It's not about any witch trials. It was. Oh, how do I describe Salem? Salem is a song that kind of grew out of dealing with a concussion after playing a soccer match. I'm still an avid soccer player, so
really?
This particular concussion's never deterred me from continuing to play as I've gotten older. But I was dealing with a concussion from the soccer field, and I was instructed by a doctor, after getting a CAT scan and all of those fun things that one might have to do when they need to be in the hospital to, keep yourself in more of a dimly or darkly lit room and just take it easy on your eyes, take it easy on your head. And, unfortunately I was pretty hopped up on Percocets, at the time to try to mitigate a lot of the pain that I was experiencing after this concussion. And while I was at home, I needed to take a few days off from work, as you might, think or expect. And I found myself binge watching, while hopped up on Percocets on various Jack Nicholson films. And I think a lot of, what was happening in some of these early 70s films that Jack Nicholson was a part of, kind of, found their way into some of the lyrics and, some of the vibe of those, films, I think just kind of somehow informed my creative thought process when I was writing the song.
A lot of spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because isn't The Shining probably one of those movies?
The Shining was not. It was not part of my binge watching experience. It was 5 Easy Pieces, if you're familiar with that one. It was 1970, 71. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, for sure. Probably Hell's Angels on Wheels.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's an oldie. That was pre-Easy Rider. And I think I was watching Easy Rider as well. So I'd say probably those were the big four of movies that I happened to be binge watching while I was at home in my apartment for a couple of days before I was, admitted to get back to work. So yeah, it's kind of it feels like a creepy song. It's very open-ended.
So here's a question I might have asked you last time, but maybe it's changed. Are you more of a? It seems to be that you're more writing or more into writing singles as opposed to albums as of now.
I think I've been releasing singles now just out of necessity. It's very, it can be very costly as an independent artist to be, releasing full-length albums in some cases. But I'm also, I'm not only considering the financial implications of that, I'm also considering at the same time the attention span of the public.
Oh, yeah.
Because as we both know, on so many different levels, that it's not just the attention span, but the industry is kind of, changed in such a way where we've kind of reverted back to the way musicians were recording and cutting music in, say, the 50s, through the early part of the 60s. It was never about full-length albums or concept albums or anything like that. It was always these, like, nice bite-sized nuggets, to whet the appetite of the public to see, if they like this. Oh, well, check out the B-side, or hey, we have another single coming in, a couple of short months. So I feel like we're all of us in our own way are trying to kind of like feed into that, always give somebody, something new as much as we can.
Yeah, I agree that's where we are, but I do have a love for concept albums.
Me too. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not against them whatsoever. I just do this. I've just been releasing singles, just kind of out of, not just, financially speaking, but just sort of out of necessity and time. And
is that something you might consider doing in the future?
A concept album?
Yeah.
I haven't really thoughtfully considered it, but that would be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool.
I feel like an album that I recorded in 2016, well, it was a 4-song EP. It wasn't necessarily a concept album, but there were lots of different themes within the lyrics that, might suggest that there's, some sort of a through line. So I don't know. I feel like if you have a bunch of interrelated songs, that don't necessarily have, matching protagonists and antagonists, that could be like a version of a concept album too. So I don't think I intended to write a concept album, but it might be, that might be an example of one type.
Yeah, no, I've been having a lot of fun working on. I like to write bigger pieces. I like to work on film score, so that's traditionally bigger, longer pieces.
Yeah.
And so I've been having these. I think I like writing albums as opposed to singles. Yeah, sure, I can write a single and that would be fine, but maybe it's just the nostalgia for me. I remember listening to I wouldn't listen to one song off an album. I kind of listen to the whole thing or the whole CD or whatever. And yeah, sure, there's not going to be a hit on every album. That's just how it is.
That's okay.
And that's okay unless you're like the Beatles, which arguably might have an all good album somewhere in there.
Beatles never phoned it in.
But for example, I have this album concept that is called Diary of Disaster, and it's going to be all of my songs that have to deal with bad girls in my life. Not necessarily all exes, because all my exes weren't awful, but just bad women or bad people in my life.
Are you friends with your exes?
None of them. No. By choice. Probably a good thing.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm not here to pry. I'm just here to ask.
No, in my situation, no, it's probably a better thing that I'm not friends, because I know that I can hold grudges, and holding grudges is never a good thing to do.
I agree.
So
better
just to move on. And I have a fiance anyway, so she wouldn't like that either.
Aren't you getting married relatively soon?
I am getting married.
Yeah.
I'm getting married December 10th. It'll be a courthouse wedding, so no one can come, unfortunately.
No.
She wanted it that way because she wanted the day to ourselves. And typically when you have a wedding, it's typically not how it goes.
So you're the only person who had to RSVP.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's really good. It's really easy to keep track of myself.
Yeah, you didn't,
most of the time.
You didn't have to go through, I don't know, Minted or
I've got no idea what that even is.
Shutterfly, you know, places that make invitation cards. And
that's great. I don't even know the companies. That's how.
Yeah. Or you're not using a wedding website like The Knot.
No.
Okay.
No. I just grabbed Alexandra Herman from. She's a photographer. And I grabbed her, took her to Ocean City with my fiance, and got pictures, and that's about it.
Super cool.
And we're gonna do. I like a winter wedding because I will not sweat in my suit. I refuse. The one day it's about me and my fiance.
Okay.
But it's about me too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be sweating and uncomfortable. Because if you look at my
New Orleans was totally out of the question.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I've heard that people that live in New Orleans, it's just that swampy down there that they have to just change their clothes 2 or 3 times a day just from the humidity.
Gosh, I could never do that.
Never.
I already run hot as a person, and sometimes the swampy PA weather doesn't help that.
Oh, it's unpredictable right now.
It is unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd rather have like a winter wedding where I know it's most likely going to be cold and it's hopefully going to have snow. And I would love to have snowy winter wedding pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want. And then I can write songs about that.
I'd like to see a lot of cardinals in those pictures too. Yeah.
Yeah?
Cardinals love the snow.
I know that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, back to you. You released a song called Beginnings.
I did.
What is that about?
Well,
whose Beginnings?
Beginnings is so that song grew out of a songwriting workshop that I did. It was an online workshop that was put together by a couple of members of Camera Obscura, Tracy Ann Campbell and Donna Makocha, along with a really great folk musician that is a kind of a cohort of theirs in their friend circle. His name's Finley Napier. He's been on BBC recently, and he's really great. The three of them put this workshop together, and we were all it was an entire day online, and we were essentially instructed to attempt to put together a song from scratch. And I ended up having a pretty hot hand that day. I mean, in terms of what the song is actually about, that I'm not entirely sure, but what I do know is, as we're talking about various seasons, you've brought up, having a winter wedding. One thing that I, very purposely had in mind when I knew we were going to be creating a song from scratch that day as part of the songwriting workshop was the concept of seasons and the constant change of change. Mm-hmm. And there's the author F. Scott Fitzgerald, there's a quote that's attributed to him, which is essentially, and I'm paraphrasing it right now, but, any time that fall occurs, it's essentially like the world is starting over again. It's a new beginning. So I definitely had that type of quote in mind, and I think the people involved in the song are constantly searching for some form of a change, both together and finding ways of growing, getting better independently, and having the ability to despite the craziness and chaos of the world, day after day, being able to bring something new into what appears to be resembling some form of a beginning, whether it's the two people, like I said, either together or independently. So it's I think the title very much just suggests that a series of beginnings are necessary to help you feel like you're whole again.
Let's take a listen to Beginnings by Matt Tarka.
It was a cold and blustery night, and much to October's delight, Lee Oaks began depleting. I'm laying down my rustic leaves, he notes to fellow brittle trees. When sundown pales, please come along with me. Oh, I need a new beginning. Well, this truly brings me joy, says Murray Meadows, ever coy. What a perfect way to share what's cluttering. See, I admire falling stars and your resilience from afar. Day after day, I can't help from stuttering. I too need a new beginning. Why don't we choose this show again? One with cobblestone and posh accent, where escapism blankets reality. If midsummer runs too late, you know my eyes roll down their shade. All to the good, there's so much happening. Tomorrow we'll replay our beginning. After October's yearly fright, Lee Oaks can't stop depleting oxygen. You always give me what I keep, he weeps and whispers to Marie sleep. No matter what, I'm trying to catch the wind. Tomorrow, when we arrive at our beginning,
And that was Beginnings by Matt Tarka. And I totally think you're right. Everybody, life is full of endings and beginnings. And if you don't really accept that, you're not going to have a fulfilling life, in my opinion. What are your opinions on that?
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Well, because I see it time and time again with certain friends of mine that they just kind of hang on to a dying thing. And there are times in your life where things die, people die even. Like, for example, when my mother died, I hung on to that for so long, and it stopped me from moving forward. And you want to know what broke it actually? My mother was the most important thing in my life. My dad at the time was a raging alcoholic, domestic not terrorism, domestic violence. Like I had to call the cops. My dad and my mother was like the only person that I would want to hang out with. He's 10 years sober now. Great guy now. At the time, not so much. Great guy now. I call him like twice a week.
I was going to ask if there's
great.
a relationship there.
Yeah, no, there's a phenomenal relationship now. At the time, he was the discipliner. he was also just the bad man in my life, and I only saw him. I didn't even see him when he woke up because he worked from like 5 to 4 a.m. to p.m. And my mom was like the teacher. She was the nice person. She was the person I would go to read or to go to Six Flags with, or to when my school had off, I would go to her school and hang out with all the science people, dissect sheep's brains. I only dissected sheep's brains in that school, not my own school.
Huh.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
What were you dissecting in the other school? Cow's eyes
nothing.
and frogs?
We didn't dissect anything.
Huh.
Right? Isn't that like the American thing? Like you go to a science class and you just dissect something?
That's uncalled for.
Right?
Yeah. You have to.
I did it when I was way younger, and it was really cool. And then she died of a heart attack at 40 years old. Out of nowhere.
Wow.
Right.
Devastating.
Utterly devastating. I remember the day. It was a Sunday. My grandmother didn't go to church because she felt something was wrong with her heart. And she had 3 heart attacks before, so she kind of thought something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to the hospital, but she must have had some sort of psychic telekinesis that it was actually my mom. And I remember going in there thinking, what did Dad do this time? Because I had called the cops on him for being abusive to my mom before. And so I thought he was the issue. Right?
Wow.
And so I was just angry at everybody. I was angry at God, angry at myself, angry at my dad, angry at my grandmother, angry, pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Because she would tell me these stories. And she was a very story-orientated person. She had a story for everything. And then she would say, well, I can't tell you that one. You're not old enough yet. And now I'll never know. Because I was 12. I was 12 at the time. And the only thing that got me out of this run, like I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like during band class, we would be playing Frosty the Snowman, and Frosty the Snowman was a movie that we watched all the time. So I couldn't play the song, so because it was just so visceral,
Sure.
And granted, it's a big thing in a kid's life to lose a parent, especially at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere too.
That's when we need our parents the most sometimes.
Right, exactly. Because I'm going through all these changes.
Yeah.
Going through puberty, and who knows what that means to a 12-year-old.
Right.
Going through middle school and then high school. And
it's confusing.
It's confusing. It's in a lot of ways it is traumatic, just going through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me out of it, I was just so mad, but she donated her body to science. And the doctors got back to us that they couldn't use any body part because it was so damaged from her alcohol abuse, from her smoking abuse, and just from other injuries that she had in her life. And then it kind of clicked for me that if she had kept on living, 1, she would have been in constant pain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
2, she would have been in and out of the hospital all the time, which is unfortunate to say, but it would have been a financial burn to our family that we couldn't have handled. Right. And I should probably preface this that we also lost a house in 2008, so this was like a lot of lost stuff.
Sure, right around the time of the last recession and
right, exactly,
market crisis, yeah.
And so all this stuff was happening, but that when they told us that, like, hey, your mom was not in a great spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's a good thing that she was taken then, because I wouldn't want to have seen her in all these bad spots.
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, everybody needs to let go of some. Not to say that I don't miss my mom. I do, even today. But you have to let go of those weighing downs of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just dwell on something forever. At some point, you have to keep moving on.
That's right. Yeah.
And if I didn't move on, would I have moved to Lancaster? Would I have met my now fiance? Would I have the life? Would I even be talking to you on this podcast? Probably not. I was a diehard introvert. I still, in a lot of ways, am. But because I let go and I moved on.
Uh-huh.
And then, there are several things that happened after that I had to let go of and move on as well. And there's always, even sometimes every single day, you have to let go of something and just move on.
Sure.
So I like that song.
But look where you are now with podcasting.
Yeah, and look at where I am now, and it's.
What episode number are you on?
We're gonna have that joke.
Yeah.
I'm on number 271.
271. That is a very large episode count.
It is, and well, I'm in my mid-20s, so
Uh-huh.
I just gotta get it in now
It's
before I get locked down. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but seriously,
Is it a prime number? 271.
I probably.
I think it is. Yeah.
Well, that makes.
This is a special day.
You're a special one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hand on heart.
That's right. But suffice to say, let's end this segment off with you have to just pick yourself up.
Yes, you
Keep
do.
moving.
And always, wherever possible, find a good support system.
Oh yeah.
Whether that's friends, whether that's teachers, other relatives,
Right.
where possible. Just do your best to surround yourself with good people. And if you need to create something new for yourself in that, true or metaphorical beginning, like it's just important for people to grow.
No, 100%. And I'm sure you as a musician can relate to that too, because especially in music, we have to grow. Like if I look back at stuff I did a year ago, it's like, ooh, I probably could have done better. And I'm sure for you, since it's been a long time, you probably look back at your stuff like,
Yeah, I do feel that way sometimes. I feel like I could have worked a little bit harder on that lyric or, that melody or something like that. I'm certainly proud of the, singles and albums I put out there. But, there are times where I think, well, I kind of like the way I play this song now as opposed to, what happened during the recording session.
mm-hmm.
I still like the session, but at the same time, it's sort of amorphous. Some of these songs, we're, even though we're putting the music out there, as it were, we also have the ability to, reinterpret for ourselves too.
No, and I agree. And I would also argue that if you can't nitpick some of the stuff you did in the past, are you really growing as an artist?
No.
Yeah.
And it's important to, just going back to for a second of doing your best to surround yourself with good people in your life. It's also really important to surround yourself with, creative people, at the same time, creative people that you like, that inspire you, people that you trust.
And not even creative in the sense of art, but creative in problem solving, or creative in architect, and people that put stuff together. I value my artist friends, but sometimes they're not always the best to go to the vent.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need a problem solver, and oftentimes it's not an artist. An artist will tell you to embrace the feelings and feel it out. Sometimes you need a solution.
Yeah, in this moment right now, I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm reflecting on conversations that my wife and I have with my son. And right now we're watching the original version of a cartoon that you may be familiar with called Thundercats. There was a remake in 2011. We've been watching the original one from 1985 and 86. Where I'm going with this is the characters on the show are Lion-O, Panthro, Chitara, who am I forgetting? Wily Kit, Wily Cat, and Snarf. I bring up all of these, fun and exciting characters because they all have one resounding trait,
Mm-hmm.
in the pack of Thundercats. They all have strengths. Not all of them, not one person can do everything by themselves. It literally takes the group of them.
Like a village.
It takes a village. It takes a village to fight the bad people where they have found their new home called Third Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So they all need to work together. They're all in their own ways kind of helping each other and inspiring one another to not just be good people in this new world that they've created for themselves, but to say hey, we are this unstoppable force together. And we're putting something good out there in the world. Maybe it's a cartoon, and maybe some people might find that silly, but I don't. I mean, this show's incredibly deep, but it's just the Thundercats are together because they have decided collectively to surround themselves with one another because they make each other better.
And it's never surely late to find people that
I see what you did there.
It's never surely late to surround yourself with good people. Speaking of surely late, that's all the songs we have today.
Hit it, Cory.
I always try to make good segues. Tell me about Surely Late.
Well, that was a record that I started working on with Ted Comerford and Mitch Easter down. Well, Ted was in Savannah, Georgia at the time. Mitch lives in Kernersville, and yeah, it was a longer studio process. You know, we started work on it in December of 2014, and the record eventually, you know, saw the light of day in April of 2016. So we really took our time with it. It was a 4-song EP. I guess you could say, you know, I was alluding to it sort of being like a concept album, and you know, I think it sort of leans a little bit, you know, on the poppier side in some places. It's a very ethereal yet introspective record that I'm really proud of.
Let's take a listen to Shirley Late.
Is it any wonder how you go on all night long? Is it any wonder how you've been right here all along? Just the gum beneath your shoe. Well, it's surely late. It's surely late. I've had quite enough of you. Is it any wonder how you leave me in a lurch? Is it any wonder how the pockets that you try to search are often torn? They're often torn. Yeah, they're often torn, as I'm often torn. Well, it's surely late. It's surely late, and your eyes are met with scorn. Is it any wonder how mistakes become so clear? Is it any wonder how the answers reappear? Just like a bird in hand, just like a bird in hand. Well, it's surely late. It's surely late. And one day you'll understand. Is it any wonder how you hide where the shadows fall? Is it any wonder if this makes any sense at all? Just climb aboard the rail. Well, it's surely late. It's surely late, and the bloodhound's on your trail.
And that was Shirley Late by Matt Tarka.
Hey, surely late.
So we were just talking while the song was playing about writing stuff and doing workshops. Well, you said you wrote this the beginnings song in a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
How's that experience gone for you, and would you like to do more? How do you feel about it?
Would I like to participate in more workshops? Absolutely. When it comes to writing, I find myself not. I need to be continuously stimulated when it comes to writing. You know, I think workshops, you know, just do. They help me quite a bit. Just break habits, so to speak. Sometimes I know where I want to go with something, but at the same time, I want to do something, you know, just a little slightly different, slightly left of center in terms of what I might like to work on lyrically or something. So yeah, I mean, lots of ways that I try to just like keep my sort of creative juices flowing when it comes to working on new material. I might pick up a magazine occasionally, and I'll just cut words out of a magazine or a newspaper or something like that, and maybe that spawns something completely new that's unrelated to an idea that I'm working on, but it might be something fun to do later. So I think I do a little bit of, you know, that type of collation sometimes, or I might underline a word in a book, or, you know, just fold a page back in a book and just, you know, maybe not take something verbatim, but again, just like something that I can put together with a group of words that I've cut out of a magazine or something like that. So just, you know, I'm constantly trying to be aware of things happening in my environment. Listen, you know, sometimes even eavesdropping on a conversation, or really listening, or really listening closely to the things that some of your friends may be talking about. Mm-hmm. You never know when somebody's just gonna, you know,
spit a nugget of gold.
Spit out a nugget of gold, and like, oh, I could that's cool. Let me write that down. Yeah. Or, you know, I've been known to, you know, always have a bunch of pens in a glove compartment or something like that, and if there's something that, you know, I'm worried that it's just going to just fly away and escape out of my head, I will pull off to the side of the road and write it down. I'm always aware, whether it's written, iPhone.
Yeah, that's what I typically do is voice memo.
Always thinking, yeah.
Melodies pop up in my head all the time, especially because I'm more of a what would you even call that? Like I hear the music in my head. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they call those people, but I'm one of those people.
Would that be like audiographic memory or something?
Right, or
that's like not it, but something along those lines. Yeah.
I'm like, I could read a sheet of music and hear what it sounds like in my head. And oftentimes I hear a melody and then I'll just pull out my iPhone real quick and just sing it into my iPhone, and that's it. No other context.
And you can pick out the notes just like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fun. It's very helpful when you're trying to write music.
Yes, it is.
And I understand not all people like work off that, but that's how I work off. That's typically how my songs are made. Like I'll come up with, like, for example, the other day I had I was probably thinking of Mr. Brightside, and I was thinking of Lyndhurst, a band. A great band and a local PA band that she listened to all the time. And I had this, now I'm forgetting the melody, but I had this melody, and then I put words to it, like, I'm Mr. Addict is my name, Mr. Addict is my name, and pleasure is my game, and you know, just like that line hit with me. And then I liked, in my own songwriting, I like to twist words, twist meanings. Mm-hmm. And so Mr. Addict, it's addiction, right? And it gets you by being pleasurable. But at the end of the song, this guy goes a little bit too far, and now he's been corrupted. So the line will go, Mr. Addict is my name, corruption is my game. Just take a hit at me and you'll never feel the same. Stuff like that. And you'll never feel alone. But it's that I love just turning stuff on its head like that.
I'm just thinking about the imagery there. That's very that's arresting,
right?
For sure, yeah.
And
it's not what you expect.
No, it's not what you expect from me anyway. But yeah, I like turning stuff into, like, Al that hurt me, and I don't like it. Maybe I should look at some of the choices in my life. Like I showed you my short film earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It got you in a way I'm sure that you probably weren't expecting.
I was not. Yeah. And you're entering that into a couple of places. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can announce it now.
Is that, did I let a cat
no,
out of the bag?
I brought it up.
Okay.
I have a short film coming out, which has been announced. And the poster is currently out now. We're hoping to send it to a few other film festivals. We're hoping desperately that it'll debut at the Red Rose Film Festival in November. We find that information out tomorrow. So hopefully we get in. If we do, you hear about it. If we don't, you won't. But what it is, it's this piece that is kind of not about beginnings whatsoever. It's kind of about staying in the same rut. You go to your 9-to-5 job, you come home. You go to your 9-to-5 job, you come home, and you're trying to break out of it. And Matt saw it. He liked it. So if you listen to anyone's opinion, listen to his.
I am the authority in this particular moment.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, songwriting, how do you do it?
How do I do it? Sometimes how do I write? I mean, every situation is different. Some songs come immediately, 20 to 30 minutes, and I've got, more than a couple of kernels of an idea. I would say generally speaking, for some reason or another, lyrics tend to come before the music, almost always. I have a general sense of the melody, but I just like to sort of like wordsmith what I have on a sheet of paper, and then take it from there. And the words, help. I follow electrical currents, and I listen to the way words sound for me on the page, and they inform the mood of the melody.
No, I agree with you. Like sonnets, for example, they have a distinct pattern. It's short, long, short, long, short, long. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of musicians don't pay attention to how words flow. Mm-hmm. And because that's in my opinion, that's what makes a good song great, is that the words flow naturally and along with the melody, and it really conveys the meaning behind the words. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about Fish. They say the words in a extremely particular way to get across their ideas.
Absolutely. Some of their most well-known songs, I mean, they do a lot with just a handful of words. Some of their most famous songs among fans, there might be 5 or 6 words in the entire piece of music, but those words that they do use in some of those songs, they help, carry that melody along. And so often those songs they can hit you like a ton of bricks.
So that's the way you like to do it, wordsmithing your way around.
I like to work. I consider myself a writer first before a musician.
It's probably a good thing.
You think?
I think so. Yeah, because music requires writing no matter what, right? And not to say anybody can make music, but anybody can make music. It only takes 3 chords, 4 chords at most to start writing a song.
And the truth.
And it's quite literally what it takes. Sometimes not even 3 chords, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. But in order to make movements, sure, we could talk about like film score. You don't have to have any writing in that. You still have to write melodies though. Mm-hmm. And start like counter melodies and stuff like that. But for all intents and purposes here, we're writing a song that has lyrics. Writing is the foundation. Because without that writing, how is your music going to be influenced? If you don't have the music, how are you going to write to help accompany the music that you already have? Or how are you going to start writing to then influence what you're going to write to it?
That's true. When you've written or scored music for projects, have you been given, say the dialogue or lyrics to something ahead of time,
Typically,
and then reacted by composing?
So whenever I get like a movie, right? If I'm film scoring, I'll most oftentimes get a picture locked thing, which means that this is the way it's gonna be. We're not editing it in any sort of way. And what I'll do is I'll watch through it and just play around on the piano as I watch it until I get something that is meaningful. Right? I mean, there's all sorts of ideas that go through my head, but there's good ones and bad ones all the time. And like you say with your wordsmithing, I'm like notes smithing.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out what melody goes best with what chord. Do I want an extended structure to these chords?
Yeah.
Are these a more open chords like Studio Ghibli likes to use? Or are these more closed off chords like maybe they would use in Saw because you're literally trapped all the time? So that's how I'm influenced. I watch it, then I play around, and then I try to use the cliches to my advantage, because the cliches are there for a reason, and use them in a different way to make someone feel or to accentuate what's happening on screen.
Right. Do you find yourself during like the midst of your own creative processes for a project, and I'm thinking about the way I react to things that I might be working on, instead of throwing something away, do you have some sort of a folder of ideas, or do you feel like, because this particular idea doesn't work, I just don't think I can use it for something else? Or are you a pack rat? I tend to lean more towards the pack rat sign. Like, I might think of something that's good, but it's not good for this. That's a different song. That's a different idea. I need to hang on to it.
I do have those.
Okay.
So when I'm creating a theme, I'll often come up with 3 different themes, like good ones. There are some that I recognize that are not good, and I'm sure with refining they could be, but I'm not interested in spending that time, wasting that time on a theme that I'm not going to use. So I will come up with like 3 good ones, and then I'll often go to the director and see what they like, because obviously they have to be involved in some sort of way, or else they wouldn't be a director.
Do you have to give, like, say, like 3 or 4 different takes of an idea? Do you present things that way, or is it kind of like more of like a fully fleshed out sort of?
It's more of like just piano.
Okay.
So I'll just do the piano, and I mean every element of like the score will be in there, like the melody on the top, and then the chord structure below, and the rhythm and whatever. Then I'll just expand that into an orchestral setting. But all good film scores can be all crunched down into a piano roll, unless you're like Hans Zimmer, who uses like severe atmospheric patches and stuff like that, or like Trent Reznor and Atticus Finch.
Yeah, they're like their own iteration of Dolby Atmos.
Right, exactly. You just don't condense that.
they're in another galaxy.
But like John Williams, you can condense all of his great works into a piano score, and you'll get the same effect.
Totally.
That's kind of the reference point that I start with. I come up with this piano score, and then whatever they like, I'll expand. Whatever they don't like, I'll save for another day, because they are good. They're just not for this project.
I like that approach.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, something entered the universe for a reason, and
even
even if it doesn't work,
always keep.
I'm gonna hang on to it.
Always keep the stuff that doesn't make the cut, but also recognize what stuff is good and what stuff is bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean that's one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given is to know your weaknesses first, and know when something is bad.
And you're gonna, as a songwriter, you're going to probably write a few hundred really bad songs.
Yeah, and it's a skill, just like anything.
Before you get to the cream.
Right. Yeah, and to your point about like doing workshops, like I've been currently working with Carrie Edwards. Do you know her?
I know her name.
Stu Huggins' daughter. Stu Huggins is a cool guy. Carrie Edwards.
They're in PA.
Yeah. Locally here. She lives in the county.
Okay.
But I've been working with her. She's more of an acoustic songwriter. I'm more of a piano songwriter. So and they lend to different, niches of the music community. Okay. And she's been opening my eyes up to more of the. I like to tell straightforward things. She likes to tell emotional picture things. And so it's been really eye-opening to see, okay, and she loves to cut down words. She likes to be concise. I like to fill as many words as I can that aren't really needed. So it's and speaking of surrounding yourself with good people, I know my weaknesses. I know that I like to be rambly, and I know I like to be very direct.
So she's trying to get you to simplify.
She's trying to get me to simplify and create pictures.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's a tricky medium.
It is a tricky medium.
Yeah.
But it's been insanely helpful in my songwriting, and now I can write something that is like that. And I'm constantly now looking for it. I don't need that word that because it's implied, or I don't need this word and because I don't need it. I don't need this. Filler word here. I can just let the music play.
I'd add another word that I attended this one songwriting workshop that is just completely unnecessary to music, and now it's been burned in my brain to just not include in any song because it doesn't advance a lyric. It doesn't advance like a story in any way, and that's the word just. It doesn't do anything. Like you're already in this state of being. I am just. What is that? It doesn't mean anything. It took me a while to not think of that word that way in a song.
It's like when you're in essay writing it, and the professor tells you don't need to say that I believe because it's already implied.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's stuff like that you don't think about, but it's like, wow. Or like I'll go back and read my songs, like I use that word way too much as a filler word, like or like or whatever. It's not needed. Cut it out.
Right.
Your song will be better because of it.
I never thought about using or like.
Well, I mean, just like when you're talking.
Oh, when you're talking.
Like,
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to find a filler word, like find your filler words that you use in your songs that are like your ums or likes or whatever.
Yeah. Or take time to breathe instead
take time to breathe and let the music tell a story.
Yeah.
People don't add in solos enough anymore. You know what I mean?
Full of clutter.
Full of clutter. Just let the music speak. There's this adage in musical theaters, like when words aren't enough, song. When song isn't enough, dance. And I feel like the same applies to music. When lyrics aren't enough, you have to let the music just flow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of all the greatest solos in history. My Guitar Gently Weep. That guitar solo is probably one of the most epic ones to exist.
Mm-hmm. Now, are we talking about George or are we talking about Prince?
Listen, it's up to your interpretations. But
I know.
All of them are good.
I know.
I've only really liked the Prince one, but it's up to anybody's interpretation.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Hotel California, where it just goes into the ending, but it's a solo.
Oh my God, that song goes on forever.
It goes on forever, and it's good. It's better for it, and I will not skip it.
But that's the difference of now it's that's the difference between FM radio in the 70s, 80s, and to some extent the 90s as opposed to today.
Right.
Bring
back guitar solos.
Bring back guitar solos.
Yeah. Well, we've been north, south, west. Time to go east.
We're going east.
You wrote a song called East.
I do. I have 19 East. That is off of my very first record, my very first EP called Motorcycle Breakfast. It seems like ages ago that
is an
came up.
title.
2011. Well, 19 East is it's the name of a building that, if you're familiar at all with Hershey, Pennsylvania, where much of the chocolate that we consume that happens to be under the name, the umbrella of Hershey was made at 19 East Chocolate Avenue. But 19 East was the shortened version, that people who either worked for the company or just worked directly inside the factory referred to that building as 19 East.
So what's it about?
Well, it's about the unfortunate closure of 19 East that happened in the early 2010s. Just decisions were made for jobs to move elsewhere out of the U.S., and some people, maybe they were following the news, maybe they were not following the news as closely, but it's kind of, it's a song that's was written from the point of view of somebody that isn't quite sure if they're going to be able to work tomorrow in the same way.
Let's take a listen to 19 East.
a speedway track, and no one's in the mood for looking back. Basket of fries and some crushed beer cans. She's waiting there in the grandstands. Factory town, 19 East, iconic brown. Refusing to quit till the whistle blows. Once the newspaper says everybody knows. Speedway track, and no one's in the mood for looking back. Ooh. No one's in the mood for looking.
And that was 19 East by Madam Tarka. Madam Tarka?
Madam.
Matt Tarka.
Madam.
I've been trying so hard not this entire episode.
Look, if you're going to write me a letter, Cory, please address me as Master.
Master.
What
was the general's name of the Death Star? Was it not something Tarka?
I don't know.
We know
it's gonna come. Yeah, it'll come to me after.
I've been trying so hard. Tarkin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been
Tarkin.
trying so
Tarkin.
hard not to call you Tarkin this entire time.
It's okay. It's okay.
If Madam's my worst slip up this episode, I'm okay.
If you did, I wouldn't correct you.
Well, Matt, where can people find you at?
People can find me online at you can find me on Instagram for starters at Matt Tarka, and also
That's 3 T's.
3 T's. I'm there. I'm on Facebook. I'm even on Blue Sky, but Instagram's probably the best place to find, what I'm up to in terms of shows. MattTarkamusic.com is my website. So whether it's Instagram or whether it's my website, you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And you can always join my newsletter too.
Yeah, and if you had, you would know that he's playing here at the SRCC tonight.
That's
for Home is Where the Art Is, a wonderful singer-songwriter round run by Amber Nadine and Dan Griffin that is actually about to start up right now. So if you're listening to this live, be sure to head down to the SRCC. That is 156B Columbia Avenue right here. We have our open mics every week at Wednesday from 7 to 10, and we have Home is Where the Art Is every third Thursday, starting at 7 to 10. I believe it's free.
It is free tonight. Yes.
It is free.
Yes.
And you should always come out and support local artists like Matt, Tommy B, Steve Mazer. I forget the rest that are on the list, but they're all great, and you should hear them all the time. With all that said, listen to Matt Tarka's music on all streaming platforms.
That's right.
And find him at his website, MATTTARKA music.com.
And download Salem tomorrow when it's available.
And listen to Salem tomorrow when it's available. With all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.